Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chaitanya Shashvata Shanto Yamatito Niranjanaha Bindunada Kalatita Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnana Shakti Samarudha Tattvamala Vibhushita Bhuti Mukti Pradata Cha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Aneka Janma Samprapta Karma Bandha Vidayine Atmanyana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Soshanam Bhava Sindosham Yapanam Sarasampada Guru Padodakam Samyad Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Na Guru Radhikam Tattvam Na Guru Radhikam Tapa Tattvajnana Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Manata Shri Jagannatha Matguru Shri Jagat Guru Mamatma Sarva Bhutatvam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Radhira Nadisha Guru Paramadevatam Guru Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru Deva Paramahamsa Vishwananda. 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 Om Shri Vishwananda Hari Om Shri Vishwananda. Om Shri Vishwananda Om Hari Om Shri Vishwananda. Om Narayana Om Hari Om Narayana. Om Narayana Om Hari Om Narayana. Jai Guru Deva Paramahamsa Vishwananda. 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 Om Namo Narayanaya Om Narayanaya Om Namo Narayanaya Om Namo Narayanaya Om Namo Narayanaya Om Namo Vishwananda Om Hari Om Sri Vishwananda
Om Sri Vishwananda Om Hari Om Sri Vishwananda
Om Narayana Om Hari Om Narayana
Om Narayana Om Hari Om Narayana
Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Vishwananda Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Om Avatara Shishaya Namaha Om Vishamaya Namaha Om Devakari Samudhyataya Namaha Om Sukshmatanave Namaha Om Chinmayaya Namaha Om Gurumutaye Namaha Om Sundaraya Namaha Om Sulochanaya Namaha Om Sumukaya Namaha Om Charuhasaya Namaha Om Keshavaya Namaha Om Padmabhujaya Namaha Om Mandagamanaya Namaha Om Charumvardharine Namaha Om Ramaya Namaha Om Mandirasapakaya Namaha Om Shirdivavachakaya Namaha Om Gayatri Ajvane Namaha Om Arpanasikarakaya Namaha Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namaha Om Namo Narayana Iti Mantrapasakaya Namaha Om Swamayaya Namaha Om Madhurakantaya Namaha Om Krishna Sankirtana Rupaya Namaha Om Stotra Priyaya Namaha Om Mitavashine Namaha Om Vagmine Namaha Om Chitakala Visharadaya Namaha Om Vratadharaya Namaha Om Sadave Namaha Om Jagatpantaya Namaha Om Sarvalokahitaya Namaha Om Bhakta Priyaya Namaha Om Suryaya Namaha Om Anukulaya Namaha Om Neyaya Namaha Om Surakshanaya Namaha Om Bhaktavatsalaya Namaha Om Premamurtaye Namaha Om Subekshanaya Namaha Om Pritivardhanaya Namaha Om Swastidayakaya Namaha Om Tarakaya Namaha Om Anugrahaya Namaha Om Vardhanaya Namaha Om Architaya Namaha Om Artaya Namaha Om Siddhipradaya Namaha Om Janardhanaya Namaha Om Manoharaya Namaha Om Mahakshaya Namaha Om Siddheshwaraya Namaha Om Basmabhushitaya Namaha Om Atmalingaya Namaha Om Nigarchana Prasakaya Namaha Om Siddhi Sadanaya Namaha Om Madhavaya Namaha Om Okarupasakaya Namaha Om Sukshmaya Namaha Om Vishwakaya Namaha Om Satvikaya Namaha Om Samadarshine Namaha Om Dakshaya Namaha Om Achintyaya Namaha Om Niramkaraya Namaha Om Nirmohaya Namaha Om Avyagraya Namaha Om Jitagrodhaya Namaha Om Vinayashilaya Namaha Om Svavashaya Namaha Om Kushalaya Namaha Om Kshamaya Namaha Om Satyadharmaya Namaha Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha Om Viraktaya Namaha Om Atindraya Namaha Om Satyasandhaya Namaha Om Pavitraya Namaha Om Madhura Swabhavaya Namaha Om Suranandaya Namaha Om Nandanaya Namaha Om Prasanatmane Namaha Om Bhaktanidaye Namaha Om Sakshaye Namaha Om Samatmaye Namaha Om Sadayogine Namaha Om Haraye Namaha Om Sutapaye Namaha Om Samyaya Namaha Om Guyaya Namaha Om Vimutatmaya Namaha Om Gabiyaya Namaha Om Guptaya Namaha Om Atmaramaya Namaha Om Srinivasaya Namaha Om Devaya Namaha Om Ditidharaya Namaha Om Danyaya Namaha Om Gurave Namaha Om Duratikramaya Namaha Om Ganaya Namaha Om Bhagavate Namaha, Om Harisharna Margadarshakaya Namaha, Om Kutasya Jagartakaya Namaha, Om Abhiprayaya Namaha, Om Sarvamata Samatyaya Namaha, Om Shamikata Bhavavardakaya Namaha, Om Premavatara Sri Vishwananda Swamine Namaha. Ato Deva Avantano Yato Vishnur Vichakrame Pradivya Sapta Damapihi Idam Vishnur Vichakrame Treda Nidade Padam Samutamasya Pagum Sure Trini Pada Vichakrame Vishnur Gopa Ada Abhyaha Ato Dharmani Dharyane Vishnu Karmani Pashyate Toho Vritani Pashpase Indrasya Yujasakaha Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padagum Sada Pashanti Suryaha Diviva Chakshuratatam Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagruvagum Sasamindate Vishnuryat Paramam Paradam. Om Premavattaraya Vidmahi Satguru Devaya Dhimahi Tano Vishwananda Prachodayat. Om Premavattaraya Vidmahi Satguru Devaya Dhimahi Tano Vishwananda Prachodayat. Om Premavattaraya Vidmahi Satguru Devaya Dhimahi Tano Vishwananda Prachodayat. Govinda. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nivigram Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yona Prachodayat. Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Ketavare Narayana Shita Trivikrama Chakrapane Deityadi Sajadara Shri Dhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rukmini Shvabhavana Sahare Murare Radesha Gopisha Sarupa Brahmani Vandhya Sridharaya Shaya Vaikunta Pate Bhuvaneta Murte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Meena Krite Pramatarupa Varara Murte Te Vikramaya Guhane Bhru Rama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Kalki Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Govinda Madhava Mukunda Parat Paresha Damodara Jadara Nanda Dadari Shori Gopa Gopi Jana Samrita Dina Bandhu Gopi Jana Priyare Tava Suprabhatam Shirantishaye Bhujagadipatatashaye Sadbhaktaye Sanadashaye Ramangashaye Shri Gopavama Mridutalpa Sukadishaye Gopavallabhare Prabha Suprabhata Shri Kashyapatri Sukanarada Gautamadi Brahmarshi Sangamani Sangava Bharatesho Vishtanti Devatava Darshana Bhagya Heto Gopala Shekhra Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Mandala Jali Tulasi Dala Malikanyahe Mayandi Anjali Pute Samudaharanti Tishkanti Tvabhavata Dhala Tale Munindyaha Radha Manohara Hare Tava Suprabhatam Vedatrayam Patati Gautamakayam Puyaha Gayanti Satguna Ganau Varadasa Vargaha Sankirtayanti Tavanama Kadali Sheshaha Shri Narada Dirshaya Tava Suprabhatam Govardhano Dharana Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Janamrita Suvesha Bhavadi Pota Trilokya Mohana Sumangala Divya Deva Shri Rukmini Shavarada Tava Suprabhatam Shri Vatsachina Saranara Patari Jata Bhaktanti Banjana Katakaya Dina Bando Gaitanti Gayati Jana Priya Divya Rupa Shri Nanda Gopatanaya Tava Suprabhatam Padmaksha Padma Mukha Padma Dara Prameya Padma Laya Shraida Padma Nivasa Shori Padmo Bhavati Sura Sevita Pada Padma Padma Ninata Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Virata Devi Hananaya Malendra Vandya Kandarpa Darpa Haratinya Sudesha Rupa Chandrananaya Siddha Chandana Lipna Deha Govinda Yadavaraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Nanda Nandana Yashoda Kumara Vira Mayanga Dina Davichona Supushpahara Nilam Budara Susarira Rama Vihara Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Vaishri Jambavati Satya Sukanti Bhadra Shri Mitra Vinya Divasha Prabhu Putri Kanyahe Ishtanti Divya Bhavave Tava Sevanaram Gopi Mana Priyaraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Ashuta Ananta Mukunda Shori Radha Manohara Janardana Chakrapane Namani Divya Munayuna Nishambananti Brahmi Muhurta Samaye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Krishna Suprabhatam Ye Patanti Varisam Bhuri Kritama Papam Shri Krishna Grahetuka Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Sintamani Prakarasam Sukalpa Vriksha Laksha Vritesha Surabira Bipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambhrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venum Kavantam Aravinda Dagara Dasyam Bhata
Sutam Bhutasungamadam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Alola Chandra Kala Sadvanamali Vamsi Ratnam Gadam Pranayakili Kala Vilasam Shyamam Tribangalalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Agnaniyasya Sakalendriya Vittimanti Paishyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Satujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhato Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Antastu Koti Shatavasara Sampravalyo Vayorapati Manasho Muni Pungavana Shobhyasthiya Prabhasa Sindhya Achintya Tattve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Ekopya Sura Chayatum Jaga Anta Kotim Yachastirasti Jaga Anta Chayayantaha Andatarasta Paramano Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Yad Bhava Bhavita Diyo Manujasta Deva Samprapya Rupa Mahimhasanayana Bhusha Shrukteyameva Nigama Pratitestu Vanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhis Tabirya Eva Nijarupataya Kalabhi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Idayeshu Vilopayanti Yashama Sundarama Chindra Guna Swarupa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Ramati Murti Shukalani Amena Tishtan Ranavataram Akarut Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Svayam Samabhavat Paramapumayo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagatanda Koti Koti Shashesha Vasudhadi Vibhuti Bhima Tad Brahmanishkalamanantam Ashesha Bhutam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Maya Yasya Jaganta Satani Sute Trigunya Tat Vishaya Veda Vitaya Mana Sattva Valambi Parasattva Vishuddha Sattvam Govindamadipurusham tamam bhajami.
Govindamadipurusham tamam bhajami. Ananda chinmaya rasatmalaya manashu. Yapraninam pratilalam sanatam upetya. Lilalitena bhuvanani jayate jasram. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Golokanam nijadam nitareshatasya. Devi Mahesha Haridam Ashuteshu Teshu. Tete Prabhava Nichaya Veta Shayena. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Shristi Shristi Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha. Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Vipati Durga. Hichanurupamapi Yasya Chachesa Chesa. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Shriram Yadasita Vikara Vishesha Yoga. Sanjayate Naitata Pratyastito. Yasambhutam apitata samuketi karya. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Dipachireva hidashastradhamabhyupedya. Dipayate vivita hetu samana dharma. Yastadrigeva hicha vishnudaya vipati. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Yakaranarnajalebatisma yoga. Nidramanantam jaganta saromakupa. Adara shaktim avalambya param swamurtim. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Yasika nishvasakala svatavalamya. Jivanti loma viraja jaganandanata. Vishnur mahamsa inayasya kala vishesho. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Basvam yatasma sakale suriteshu tesha. Sveyam kiyam prakataya apitatvatra. Brahma yesha jaganta vidana karta. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Yad bhava bhava yuganti hridaya kumbha. Vandve pranama samaye sagadani raja. Vignam vinantum alamasya jagatrayasya. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Anirmahingayanam bumarudisacha. Kalastatatma manasiti jagatrayani. Yasmat bhavanti vibhavanti vishanti yamcha. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Yachakshuresa savita sakalarahana. Raja samasta suramurti rashesha teja. Yasyagnaya brahmati sampritaka chakro. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami.
Dharma tapapa nichaya strutaya sapamsi. Brahmadikita pataga vadaya shajiva. Yadata matra vibhava prakata prabhava. Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasvindra Gopa Matavendra Mahosma Karma Bandhanurupa Palabhajana Matanoti Karmani Nirdaiti Kintu Shabati Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yam Krodha Kama Sagraja Pranayadi Biti Vatsalya Moha Guru Gaurava Sevya Bhavahe Sanchitya Tasya Sadrishim Tanuram Purete Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Om Ajnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Dear Gurudev, good morning. Today we will read from Srimad Bhagavatam like every morning, and it's from Canto 10, chapter 2, verse 35. And it goes, Sattvam nachedataridam niyam bhavet Vijnanam agnanam bhidam paranjanam Guna prakashir anumiyate bhavan Prakashate yasya chayena vagunaha. And it means, O Lord, cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of the material nature, gunas, one could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence one can understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form. So this is, for the context, this is right before Lord Krishna is born, and it's Lord Brahma singing him praises. Even though a couple of years later he failed to recognize him, but still, for now, is everything good, yeah? So I want to focus on word that he mentioned twice, and that's presence. And why presence is so important, and I believe that all of us actually understand or have different understanding what this presence is. But I believe that without feeling this presence constantly or as much as possible, the spiritual path becomes very hard, because I believe that that's the only thing that we can really hang on. And this is the presence of him. So he gives many clues in Bhagavatam, in Bhagavad Gita, and that how essential his presence is. And I understand that it's a strong statement, but I saw people who were in presence of Guruji, physical presence, for years, and they still dropped spiritual path. And it was a big mystery for years. Why? Because that's almost a dream of every devotee, like be with Guruji every day, hanging out with him. But and I was just wondering, why is it that this can still happen? It's not a judgment, it's just an analysis. Yeah. I try to analyze it. And the more I spoke with the people, the more I realized that at some point, they stop to feel presence of him. So this is where in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I think it's chapter 9, verse 11, if I'm not mistaken, fools disregard me in my human form. And that's exactly what happened. At some point, if we don't find this presence within ourselves, we start to take Guruji as a just normal person. And I believe that it happened all of us, that we did this, even if it's just for a second or for a minute or for an hour or for days. But I believe that it happened to everybody. And we have really nice conversation with Vatsala and Rishi Anantajita Das. And Jiva said something really nice. We were talking about Gita, I believe. And he said, but above everything, I'm practicing awareness of his presence. And I found it really beautiful because it's not more than this. It's just being aware of his presence, because we all know how his presence feels like, no? We all had Darshan, we all have nice moments. So we understand what is the feeling of his presence. And I believe that many of us are here because of this. So, and my question was, but how can we be constantly present? Or how can we be constantly aware of his presence? Because that's what he said, no? You have to think of God 24 hours. And it's a big task. It doesn't happen just in one night. But I think that what he means is to be actually aware of his doing our duty, like he says, but to be aware of his presence at the same time. And I think that's the task that we as devotees have to do. I think that's essential on our spiritual path, really, because this is what everything comes from. This is where everything happens, is when we really feel this presence of him, when we really enjoying him. Once Guruji said, if devotees would know that they would give, I give it everything and they will receive everything just by enjoying my presence. It's just this, just by enjoying presence. And I was thinking, what are the practical steps? Like, how can we actually increase? And I look back in my life and I saw the mistakes that I did where I decrease or put my awareness away from his presence, and what are the things that I did that I put my awareness more into his presence, or to be aware more of his presence. And I noticed there are basically 3 steps to build up this presence, or to really not to build up, because this presence of him is essentially grace. It's something that we cannot have it. We cannot achieve it. Nevertheless, the effort that we can put is to be really aware. I believe it has 3 steps, or that's how I noticed that it happened in my life. So I think that first, it's really important that we put ourselves in the right environment, because that's how we respond. That's how our mind responds to certain memories. So we increase chances of feeling his awareness if we come to prayers, if we do japa. And I believe that that's the only thing that's why the Guruji is putting so much emphasis or stressing so much to do japa. Because for me, it happened when I was doing japa. I never dropped japa since 6 years, and it came to a point when I was like annoyed that I have to do it, to a point that I cannot wait that I can do it. So it was really just that. It was constant practice, and I constantly put myself, and I see other people doing the same, just put themselves into environment where they just take time to do sadhana, spiritual practices. And especially japa, because japa is remembrance. No, we always remember it. And what it happened, or what it helped me to actually deepen the practice, was to remember a couple of sweet moments that I had with Guruji. And we all have it. Or it's a darshan, or it's just a, by the way, how are you? Or whatever it is. Like everybody, I believe, has like some of the golden moments, some of the diamonds that we really cherish. It's just there. And while I was doing japa, I tried to remember these moments. And the feeling, and what happened is that the feeling came with it. And with that feeling, I actually felt his presence much more. And it happened that it was sometimes 5 minutes, and then it went to 10, and then to 15, and then it was more and more. And I believe that's the practical steps, that once we actually put ourselves in the right environment, take time and remember the moments that we have. And that's why I believe that he also gives us experience, because he could be, once he even told me that he would be very happy if he would just live in a small house somewhere in the sea and see us from time to time. But it's not, he's constantly giving us experience. He's constantly coming down, and he's just constantly interacting with us, because that's when we receive this experience, it's not just for that moment. Like, and this is where our attitude is very important, because I saw myself in the past that I was Guruji's experiences, or I took Guruji as a drug. No, you just want to feel good, so you chase Guruji, and then he gives you experience, and then you forget about it, and then you chase another one. I saw this also in people, and so I did it myself for years. But to actually really, when you receive, or when we receive experience, to really cherish it, write it down, and constantly remember this experience, changes everything, because it brings us to a space where everything happens. Once we are in this space, this is where relationships start to blossom. This is where relationships start to happen. And this is where it's just everything is there. And the sole purpose of everything that we do is basically this, to be really aware of his presence constantly. And in the verse says, it says, your presence only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship. So only by his presence we can really connect with it. And the trick is that once it's given, it's always there. We just have to bring awareness to it. And to bring awareness, we actually have to take time for it. And I believe that japa is the best sadhana for it. It's kriya, it's prayers, it's puja, it's everything, but it's just very essential that we take time, that we put ourselves in the right environment and actually appreciate every experience that we had, because that's how we honor experience that he gave it to us. I saw Guruji many times coming down in very tired or in pain even, but he always came down. And there is no reason to come down. He just came down because of the people. He wanted to give this experience, because even when he's interacting with us, this experience just means everything, because it's forever. It will stay with us with the end of our life. And it's just so precious. And to really honor it is just to constantly visit it, to constantly go back, to constantly remember. And that's how this transcendental presence of his start to grow and grow. And it comes from 5 to 10 to 15 minutes to an hour, depends on the day. Yeah, but it's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. And as you know, spiritual path is not easy. It's just something that eventually will take away everything. And to really hold on this presence is the only thing that I believe that can save us. Because in that presence is everything. I remember once I wrote Guruji because I was actually thinking what was the where there was a time that I felt this presence less, and what were my actions. And I noticed that there was basically two things that I mostly did. First one was that when you are in this feeling, when you feel his presence, that mind, and that's something that he mentioned in Guru Gita also, that mind wants to capture or take away this feeling. And this is where the mind starts to ask for things. It might seem that they are spiritual things, but it's just asking. And I remember once I wrote him a message, and he completely ignored this message, and he just tackled, and he told me one sentence or more sentences, but that this one really struck me was, yeah, but you keep asking and asking and asking. And I was thinking, but I never asked for anything. I wasn't like, Guruji, can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have like big house? Can I have, like, I'm brahmachari, I don't ask for these things. And it took me a while, couple of months, to actually understand that when I was in this moment, when I was doing my job, or when I was enjoying his presence, my mind was constantly asking for something. It's just constantly asking and asking and asking for whatever. Yeah, many things. But this is where I understood what he thinks, what he meant. He meant, but your mind is almost like try to capturing this feeling. It's just by desires, by asking. So it's he explained this in length in Bhagavad Gita, in Guru Gita. So that was the first thing that really sabotaged my feeling, and to really stop me to enjoying his presence and start that I want more things. It's almost autopilot. When we feel God, we just ask for things because we want to profit ourselves. And it's such a strange phenomenon, but I believe it's just so ingrained in us. And second one was that we actually get so busy and we don't take time. And what I mean is that we are able to forget why we are actually here. And that's something Rishi Aditya was also saying a couple of days ago. It was wonderful satsang. And it made me think, because I remembered when it happened to me living in the ashram. I think it was 2020. We were just with Rishi Mukunda developing Just Love Collective and Just Bhakti Shop. And it was really exciting time. I was full of excitement. And at some point, I forgot, why am I here? What's the purpose? Because the sole purpose of me being here is to build relationship with him. And I forgot living here, being in the prayers every day, despite me being in the best possible situation to actually build relationship with him, I forgot. And that happened when we were just doing seva, or work rather, constantly. We slept like maybe 3-4 hours, and then we wake up, and then again and again and again. And it was so much of excitement and so much of, just make it. I was just building a brand. I behaved like entrepreneur, which doesn't make any sense if you live in ashram. And I was in this mode couple of months, and for a long time I didn't even notice that I don't feel his presence. I was just existing. Like I'm on everything that I did become mechanical. And even if it was spiritual, I did prayers mechanical. I just did puja. Japa, mechanical, didn't feel anything. Just back then was still 16 rounds. Just chant quickly and go back to, posting on Instagram. So it was really hard times until one of the Swamis gave satsang here, and I remember there was also a Darshan the same day, or he even gave satsang on Darshan anyway, and he was speaking about this, and I received Darshan, and then it just hit me what I'm actually doing. When you have a realization, small realization, when you actually see what you're doing for months, but before you're unable to see. I believe it happened to all of you. Yeah, good. So it's just when it hit me, when I started to realize what I was doing, like it was so painful. It was I usually don't cry because it's not my thing. But I just cried like a baby for, I think it was the whole day or 2 days. Like I couldn't get rid of this pain because I was so ashamed of what I did. To a point that I was so desperate that I had a feeling I had to apologize, because it was also, I felt like I betrayed Guruji. I felt like I betrayed God because of my behaviors and because I was just on autopilot and just be so mechanical. So it came to a point when I actually wrote Guruji a message, and then he just, out of nowhere, he just called me. So I'm crying. I'm in a really bad state, yeah? Like I'm just crying, and then he called me, and I'm like, tried to explain him, like weeping and like, Guruji, I'm sorry, that happened, I'm so sorry. And then he's like, he has to slow down, just explain, yeah? And then I tried to explain, didn't really work, and then he said, it's okay, it's nice that you're aware, it's like, don't worry, yeah? So he gave me shoulder, and I still feel bad, but much better, yeah? And then I said, Guruji, is there something else that I'm doing that it's like not beneficial for relationship? And I remember it was like 3-4 seconds of quiet, of silence. And he said, no, it's okay. It's just, I think that was a moment, it was too much. But what I try to say is that it doesn't matter where we really live. Even in ashram, these things can happen. And even though it's really wonderful environment, this can happen to us. So if we are really allow ourselves to feel His presence and really understand that is essential, then things are not mechanical anymore. This is the sole purpose, that actually how things are not mechanical. How can we actually put our heart in everything we do? How can we be actually present? Is by feeling His presence. And this is the thing that I believe we just have to hang on, and we have to do everything to develop this. Yes, essentially it's a grace, but if we put our effort, it's gonna happen. And when it comes, when all of the experience that we had, when we constantly remember these experiences, then we can really go deeper into spiritual path, and we can really deepen relationship with Him. And that's something that Guruji responds to. And I notice also he responds also on the outside on this, because it's just our willingness and effort to go deeper. And without this, if we don't eventually start to feel this more and more, then things just becomes mechanical, and we just got lost in everyday tasks, etc., etc. So just as conclusion, there are 3 steps that we can really make it work. Is first that we take time to feel this presence, to put ourselves in very favorable environment, let it be temple, let it be spending time with Sangha, whatever it is, or just being alone with japa, and to be actually consistent with japa. because that's where awareness comes from. And third thing is to honor his experience that we had with him. And to honor it, we just constantly have to revisit it. And this is where his presence becomes more and more visible. We can feel more and more of his presence. And this is where I believe that everything also happens. Like when we are in this space where we are actually enjoying his presence, that's where relationship really start to blossom. Jai Gurudev.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladaladaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito narasimho parato narasimho. Ito narasimho parato narasimho. Ito narasimho parato narasimho. Ito narasimho parato narasimho. Yato yato yamitato narasimho. Yato yato yamitato narasimho. Oh yato yato yamitato narasimho. Oh yato yato yamitato narasimho. Bair narasimho hridaye narasimho. Bair narasimho hridaye narasimho. Bair narasimho hridaye narasimho. Bair narasimho hridaye narasimho. Narsimhamadim sharanam prapade. Narsimhamadim sharanam prapade. Narsimhamadim sharanam prapade. Narsimhamadim sharanam prapade. Tava kara kamalavare nakamadbhuta shringa. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadirta Narari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Tavakara Kamalavare, Nakama Bhuta Shingam, Dalita Hiranyakashipu, Tanubriga, Vishavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Oh, Keshavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Narsinghadev, 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 Jai Narsinghadev, Jai Narsimhadev, 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 Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Bhakta Swarupa, Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Bhakta Swarupa, Jai Prahlad. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Sri Vishwananda Gurudev, 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 Sri Vishwananda Gurudev, Vishwananda Gurudev. Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala, Mangala me, Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala, Mangala me, Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala, Mangala me, Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala, Mangala me. Yatindraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala me, Yatindraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala me, Prapanti Dharmaikarataya Mangala Mangala me, Prapanti Dharmaikarataya Mangala Mangala me. Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala, Mangala me, Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala, Mangala me, Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala, Mangala me, Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala, Mangala me. Shaligrama Patishtitaya Mangala Mangala me, Shaligrama Patishtitaya Mangala Mangala me, Tridanda Dharini Godagrajaya Mangala Mangala me, Tridanda Dharini Godagrajaya Mangala Mangala me, Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala me, Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala me, Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala me, Yatiraja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala me, Rangesa Kankaryarataya Mangala Mangala me, Rangesa Kankaryarataya Mangala Mangala me, Mananataya Dharini Dharaya Mangala Mangala me, Mananataya Dharini Dharaya Mangala Mangala me, Ramanuja, Ramanuja, Mangala Mangala me, Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me
Mangala Mangala Me Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jaya Jagadish Hare भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का सुख संपत्ति गरावे सुख संपत्ति गरावे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता तुम मेरे शरण गौ में किसकी स्वामी शरण गौ में किसकी तुम बिना और न दूजा तुम बिना और न दूजा बस करूं मैं जिसकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो बलता ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो एक गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किस विधि मिलो दयामय किस विधि मिलो कृपामय तुमको मैं कुमति ओम जय जगदीश हरे दीन बंधु दुखार्ता तुम रक्षक मेरे स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे करुणा हाथ बधाओ करुणा हाथ बधाओ शरण दादा तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पापारो देवा स्वामी पापारो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति बधाओ श्रद्धा प्रेम बधाओ संतन की सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे तन मन धन सब है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा तेरा तुझको अर्पण तेरा तुझको अर्पण क्या लागे मेरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे मन चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी माने चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो जी चाकर राखो चाकर राखो चाकर राखो जी चाकर राखो चाकर राखो चाकर राखो जी माने चाकर राखो जी गिरधारी लाला चाकर राखो Shama Mane Chakra Koji, Girdhari Lala Chakra Koji, Govinda Mane Chakra Koji, Girdhari Lala Chakra Koji, Girdhari Lala Chakra Koji, Girdhari Lala Chakra Koji. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva.
Govinda
Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Hari Om.
प्रेम से बोल सनातन भगवान की, प्रेम से बोल श्री भूतभृतेश्वरनाथ नरसिम्हा भगवान की, प्रेम से बोल श्री राधे कृष्ण लाल की, श्रीमतार क्रिया बाबा जी की, श्री रामानुजाचार्य की, प्रेम से बोल सतगुरुदेव श्री स्वामी विश्वानंद महाप्रभु की. ओम कृष्णाय गोविंदाय गोपी जनवल्लभाय पराय परम पुरुषाय हर कर्म मंत्रे अंत तंत्र औषधानि शस्त्राणि
Samrat Samrat Mrityor Muchaya Muchaya.
ओम नमो भगवते महासुदर्शनाय दिव्यज्वाला प्रीताय सुरदिग्ध्रुवान् ओम पात हरस्मै परम रमणे परम जशिषे स्वाहा. ओम शांति शांति शांति, श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे. वेंकटरमण गोविंदा, गोपिका जीवन स्मरण गोविंदा, भक्तवत्सला गोविंदा, गोविंदा गोविंदा गोविंदा. कुंडलिका वरदे एकनाथ नामदेव, पंढरीनाथ महाराज की, समस्त भक्त मंडली की, अल्वारे पेरुमनार तिरुवरी करे शरणा.